As is a condition of your release, sort of thing?
Yeah, as a condition. They call that a probation.
So
Unsupervised.
unsupervised.
Uh-huh.
Now, Friday comes your court date. And
Well, it's a status hearing.
a
Actually.
status hearing.
Yeah, it's a status hearing.
So what do we know about that day? What are the possibilities of what could happen that day?
Well, I'm hoping that the judge will allow me to plead nolo, which means that I will say not guilty, but not contesting the charges. And if he does agree, then I will be sentenced immediately.
Right there on the spot, you'll be sentenced?
And taken away.
Taken away right from Friday, you could be taken to jail.
Well, yeah, cuffs will be put on me and I'll be led away.
But we have no idea how much time that could involve at this point.
No.
Have you made plans for, say, taking care of your cat and watering your Christmas cactus behind you?
Yeah,
And
yeah. Pete Perry. And my birds that are quiet.
Yes.
But I've got two cockatiels that I'm taking care of for my nephew and his, for my nephew's family. Pete doesn't want to take care of the birds, but if I'm in jail more than a week, then he will call my nephew who will come and get the birds.
And then so after all this and after all this trouble and having spent time in jail and quite possibly looking at jail time tomorrow, as difficult as that would be for a judge to sentence you, would fear of going to jail again or fear of additional fines stop you from being an involved, committed activist?
Fear? No, absolutely not. I mean, I don't want to go to jail, and I'm not going to pay that. I mean, I'm just not going to do it. At least I don't see how I can. Like if they said, well, you can give the money to your favorite charity, then I would give it to Life Pathways, or the Catholic Worker, Dorothy Day they're doing wonderful work in this city. I would do that, and saying with the statement that you don't have to tell me to give, because I support these places anyway.
Well, it seems to me it's community service that got you in this trouble to start with.
Yeah, that's touche.
So what, and one thing I definitely want to pay homage to, I mean, here today we're interviewing you to hear about your story as an individual, but one thing we definitely want to do is pay homage to the countless citizens out there. We just happen to be able to get to spend some time with you, but it seems that there's a large movement afoot of those committed to nonviolent civil disobedience.
Well,
Have you
that's
seen a
right.
lot of that?
Oh, have I met many people?
You feel that there's a good movement afoot in the right direction of civil disobedience?
Yes, and let me put in a plug for the fact that we got justice. We had a jury trial on, how can I forget the date? Was it July or June? July, I think, 6th or 7th, some day like that, where 12 citizens, 12 individuals who are our peers, found us not guilty.
Was this for the Senate Hart action?
Yeah. And many, we called ourselves the Heart Seven. So I take my hat off to my fellow defendants, and especially the people that had roles in the trial, because we went pro se. So those people, and of course the people that I met in jail. I met Cindy Sheehan for the first time in jail. So and Anne Wright, what a wonderful person she is. And Gail and Medea and all the people in Code Pink, all the brave
ladies,
young women who are willing to speak truth to power.
Now, what would you, let's say you're in a situation again where, let's say us as your viewers and listeners of this conversation were, say, your class, and you were a teacher once again. What advice would you have for us? What steps would you like to see us take in the peace movement? And what advice would you have for us? And what sort of world would you like us? How do you envision? What is the sort of world that you're working for?
A world where nations will turn their swords into plowshares and will study war no more. And immediately what I would love to see right here in the city, which is a potential place for the breeding of terrorists, with our children being neglected and ignored. You go down my block and you see on the street corner young people prostituting themselves, doing and selling drugs. I mean, if that isn't a breeding ground for terrorism, I don't know what is. Where children are killing children. I mean, it doesn't make sense. So what I would like to see in the classroom is a course taught in conflict management. How to turn your enemy into a friend by consensus, by looking for consensus.
Well, this brings me to an interesting topic, along the lines of love your enemies.
Mm-hmm.
When there's individuals in our government and in other governments and in the corporations that run our country, which sometimes it's easy for some of us in the peace movement to demonize, and then also I've also seen sometimes folks that were well-intentioned in the peace movement, perhaps without thinking, calling for the loss of the human rights of those that oppose us and their policies. So it seems like we ought to make a little effort. And I'd like to hear what you have to say about. I think that we need to confront people who don't do wrong in this world, but do we need to demonize them, and do we need to curse them, or do we need to think that their human rights are any less worthy than our own?
Absolutely not. I think that's true. But then I realize that the peace population is a very diverse population, and there is a generational gap, and so the energies of the young people, and so I may not go along with everything